Greetings, my name is Neosekken. Welcome back to my Let's Play of Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 2. In the last episode, we had a curry cooking contest throughout the entire school, where our objective was to cook the best curry dishes, for the forest rangers who were renting out their building for the village to use as a school. And, well, somehow, Keiichi ended up being one of the top winners of this contest through, long story short, a sheer technicality. And now we're on our way home. Yeah, that's literally all that happened in the last episode. There was a lot of drama to be had, a lot of sabotage between the different club members for their respective curry dishes. But in the end, despite all the odds that Keiichi and I faced, we somehow managed to pull through. So yeah, we're going home, and I guess we're just gonna see what's happening now. In the end, all the onigiri was eaten by the principal, so I had to make do without lunch. Oh yeah, that's right. He also had his onigiri eaten by the principal, and the teacher curried the poor guy. Poor Keiichi, that's all I can say. Skipping lunch. I never knew the afternoon could be so long and painful. A feeling other than drowsiness made me space out. Are you alright, Keiichi-kun? That's why I said you shouldn't eat Reina's curry. As if I could eat this curry with enough salt in it to make my blood pressure rise just by looking at it. Is what I said as I initially refused. I could only regret it. Hunger. Stomachache. Well, well. You did a good job making it through. Your absolutely helpless situation, that is. Gee, thanks. Kei-chan, you're pretty strong when you're cornered, huh? I say desperate is a more fitting word, but yes he is. I don't need any compliments right now. I need food. There's something for you to eat at home, right? We don't keep snacks lying around at home. I'm out of cup noodles right now. Since you're enduring that hunger so much right now, I'm sure tonight's dinner will be really tasty. I had absolutely no intention of laughing along. Well, she's not wrong though, is she? Well then, I'll take my leave. I have my part-time job again today. It's really tough when you're not used to the work. Ah, that job at the Angel Mort family restaurant, huh? That uniform was somewhat stimulating. Being a waitress really is hard work. Huh? Mi-chan is working as a waitress? Really? Really? What kind of place is it? How? No, I'm working at that toy store from the other day. Shion is the waitress. Ah, my bad. I completely forgot how that was how it ended up being. I'm sorry. You guys look so similar, I mixed you up. Keiichi-kun. Who's Shion? Didn't we have this conversation in one of those tips not too long ago? Reina asked the obvious question. Mion's younger twin sister.
外見は瓜二つなんだ。
She's got a different personality, but she's a dead ringer for Mion.
そうそう。
That's right.
外見は似てるけど中身は大違いなんだよ。
We look similar, but our personalities are completely different.
私は優しくて思慮深いけど、シオンは冷めてておっかない性格なんだよね。
I'm very kind and thoughtful, but Shion has a cold and scary personality. That's not an impression I got.
多分生まれた時にミオンの女の子らしい部分は全部シオンに行っちゃったんだと思う。
If anything, so far I'm more inclined to say that you are the scarier one out of the two, Mion. I think that when you guys were born, Shion got all the feminine aspects.
ミオンと違って実にはにかんだ笑顔の似合う可愛い女の子なんだ。
Unlike Mion, she's a cute, cheerful girl. Reina interjected as her eyes darted back and forth from our exchange.
そうなの?
Is that true?
レナ会ったことないの?
Reina's never met her.
みーちゃん、妹がいるなんて話してくれたことあったっけ?
Mi-chan, did you ever tell me you had a younger sister? Shion's existence was already being exposed as a cover-up. I don't think it is, buddy. I couldn't help Mion out here. I can only have her end this charade. The only one here who's enacting a charade right now is you, towards yourself. Oh yeah.
レナには紹介したことなかったかな。
I still haven't introduced her to you, Reina.
私の双子の妹でシオンって言うんだよ。
My younger sister's name is Shion.
知らないよ。
I don't know.
聞いてないよ。
I didn't ask.
みーちゃん家に行っても会ったことないよ。
I never met her when I went to Mi-chan's house.
ほ
Yeah, that.
ら、知ってるでしょ? バッチャと住んでるのは私だけだから。
You know, I'm the only one that lives with Granny.
シオンはOkinomiyaの実家に住んでるの。
Shion lives at the family home in Okinomiya.
あんまり仲が良くないから、こっちには来ないんだけどね。
We're not that close. So yeah, she doesn't come here too often. Really? Based on the conversation I had with her back at that restaurant, it seems like you two at least maintain regular contact somehow. Reina's face indicated she wasn't sure if she was convinced. She was usually a bit of an airhead, but she was unusually sharp when it came to these kinds of things. If only you knew what else she was sharp about. Well, you did at one point, but well, I guess this time around, you have to learn that all over again, right?
まあ、嘘じゃないんだ。信じてやってくれ。
Well, it's not a lie. Please believe me. As she said, "Yeah, I believe you," a smile suddenly blossomed on Reina's face.
レナもいつか会ってみたいな。
Reina wants to meet her.
今度、レナもお顔を見に行ってみるね。
I'll go and see her sometime.
どこのお店で働いてるのかな?
What store is she working at? What store?
その...
that is... she's getting more tangled in her little web. I could tell that Mion was getting increasingly frantic. I wanted to help her out, but it was too hard for an outsider to butt in on family issues.
ごめん!
Sorry!
バイトもう急がないと!
I have to get to work.
じゃあね!
Later!
レナにケイちゃん!
Reina, Kei-chan?
また明日!
See you tomorrow! Unilaterally ending the conversation, Mion headed home. No matter how you look at it, she was running away. We'll just label this one as an emergency escape.
みーちゃん、なんだか可愛かった。
Mi-chan was kinda cute.
なんでかな?
I wonder why. Reina giggled in amusement. I don't know, when people have secrets to hide and they get all flustered like that, more often than not, I don't find it cute. I find it curious. I wonder when dinner is. Would lying down be the best way to conserve energy? Well, yeah, it would. Just lie down and not move. I sprawled in the entryway without even taking off my shoes. Can't you just sprawl anywhere else but the entryway? I mean, people do walk back and forth through there, man. And it sounds like someone just might be ready to do just that. As I was losing the last vestiges of my consciousness, the doorbell rang. It seemed I had a guest.
はい、どうぞ。
Come on in.
開いてますよ。
It's open. I directed my listless voice at the door.
どうもこんにちは。って、ケイちゃん、何やってんですか?
Hey, Shion! How do you know where I live? Did Mion tell you? Good afternoon. Huh? Kei-chan, what are you doing? It seemed to my guest was Mion, or rather, Shion. She seemed shocked when she saw me sprawled out in the entryway.
シオンか?
Is that Shion?
また、どうして?
Wait, why? I thought that Shion's existence was an illusion that was limited to when Mion was at the restaurant. Now, ask yourself this, Keiichi. If that isn't the case, why is it that Shion's existence isn't limited to the restaurant? Could there be a specific reason for that? Come on, Keiichi. Give that hamster in your head a workout in the hamster wheel. That's why I never even considered that Shion would appear here.
お姉に聞きましたよ。
I heard from my sister.
今日のお昼、部活で大変なことがあって、ご飯食べられなかったんですよね。
Because of club activities today, you weren't able to eat lunch, right? Did you bring me food?
ああ、大変だったぞ。
Yeah, it was a lot of trouble.
サトコに鍋を倒され、ご飯はお前に盗まれて。
Satoko spilled my pot, and you stole my rice. Ignore... I gotta say, though, I wasn't expecting to run into you again so soon.
だから私、シオン。
But I'm... Shion. She grew red and began to mope. That's right. She was the younger twin right now.
すまんすまん。
You're still going to believe this? It really is gonna take just having the two in the same room as you, isn't it? Sorry.
それでなんだよ。
What's up?
空腹の俺のために差し入れでも持ってきてくれたのか?
Did you bring something for me to eat?
ありゃ、図星を疲れちゃってなんだかがっかりですけど、これ。
Oh my. It's somehow disappointing that you hit the nail right on the head, but here. Dang! I was right. That's nice of you. With a disappointed smile, Shion held out the small bento box she had hidden behind her back. Huh?
本当に差し入れなのかよ?
You really brought something to eat?
サンキュー!
Thanks!
お姉が学校に持って行ったハンバーグの残りがあったんで、ちょっと持ってきました。
There was still some of the ground beef left over from what my sister brought to school.
お夕飯前だとは思いますけど、いかがかなって思いまして。
I knew it was going to be right before dinner, but I wondered if you'd want it.
迷惑でしたか?
Am I bothering you? Not at all.
迷惑なんてめっそうもない。
Not even a bit.
すげえ嬉しいよ。
I'm really happy.
本当に食っていいのか?
Can I really eat this? Sneaking a look inside the box. To say that she just put some of the leftovers inside would have been a lie. There was an elegant meal stuffed inside.
本当にいいのか?
Is it really okay?
これ、タバスコとかがいっぱい入ってるとか、そういう冗談じゃないのかよ。
There's not like a ton of hot sauce mixed in or anything, right?
も
Jeez.
う、お姉じゃないんですから。私そんなことしませんよ。
I'm not my sister. I wouldn't do that kind of thing.
別に嫌なら無理しなくても。
If you don't like it, you don't have to force yourself.
帰って自分で食べちゃいますから。
I'll just go home and eat it myself. Saying that, she pouted cutely and made a motion as if to snatch the box back. There were some times that made me doubt that she was the same person as Mion, and this was undoubtedly one of those moments.
全然嫌じゃないです。
I don't mind at all.
感謝の心を忘れずに噛み締めたいと思います。
I want to chow down on it with thanks from the bottom of my heart.
そんな鼻水垂らされて感謝されるほどのことじゃ。
It's not something to be so thankful about that your nose has to run. Shion, who had thought that I might not take the bento, looked down happily.
何もないけど上がっていくか。
There's not much, but do you want to come in?
お茶くらいなら出せるかも。
I could probably make some tea or something.
ごめんなさい。またの機会にします。
Sorry, maybe some other time. You mean you only came here just to deliver the poor guy food? Is that really it? I mean, again, that's a very nice thing for you to do here, but I mean, wouldn't you at least want a drink before going?
私、バイトに行く途中ですから。
I'm on my way to work. Okay, you're on your way to work. And I guess that definitely is a good excuse. Oh, that's right. She did say that before.
お弁当箱は適当に水洗いして、明日お姉にでも返しといてくださいね。
Just rinse the box out with water and give it back to my sister tomorrow, please.
当然だぜ。
Of course.
こんなうまそうなのを食わせてもらったら、それぐらい礼儀だろう。
It would only be the proper thing to do after being allowed to eat something that looks this delicious.
じゃあ私はこれで。
Well then, I'll take my leave.
あと最後に。
One last thing. Shion grew red again and she looked down once more.
お姉がカレーの時、黙ってケイちゃんのご飯取っちゃいましたよね。
During that contest of the curry, my sister took your rice without permission, right? Yeah, she did. She's a ruthless one.
悪ふざけが過ぎるとお姉、ついやりすぎちゃうんです。
My sister fools around too much, so sometimes she gets carried away.
決して悪気があったわけじゃ。
She wasn't doing it just to be mean. Well, yeah, she wasn't. She was just doing it to win.
おいおい。
Hey, hey.
別に俺はあんなのなんとも思っちゃいないぜ。
It's not like I mind that too much. Could have fooled me.
部活の上でのことは恨みっこなしだからな。
There are no grudges when it comes to club activities after all. Again, could have fooled me.
毎回スリリングに楽しませてもらってるのをこっちが感謝したいぐらいだぜ。
In fact, I should be the one that's thankful for all the thrills and entertainment.
そうミオンに伝えてくれるか。
Could you tell that to Mion for me?
はい。
Yes.
それ、お姉きっと喜ぶと思います。
I think my sister will be very happy to hear that.
ではこの辺で。
Well then, I have to go. Shion smiled brightly. After bowing deeply, she left as she looked at her watch.
嬉しいけど、これ本当に大丈夫なんだろうな。
I'm happy, but is this really okay? I looked at the bento box that she left behind. Well, apparently it is, so I would just go ahead and just eat it. A faint warmth spread through the palm of my hand. If it were Mion, I could see hot sauce, mustard, maybe even a needle being mixed inside. Why would you think of a needle of all things? Unless in this alternate reality sort of thing that or timeline that I'm in, that actually happened before. Except rather than just going down into an absolute path of paranoia, you just simply got mad at her and, I don't know, got your revenge during a club activity. But really, I don't think she would go so far as putting a needle in there. I opened the box once again, and hesitantly tasted a bit. Yeah, I don't see anything like a needle being stuck in there happening, because it's not like he's really done anything that could have potentially pissed anybody off yet, like he did back in Chapter 1, so... yeah, I took a bite, and another. There was no funny business. There was no danger at all, for it was delicious. Are you saying delicious things can't be dangerous, Keiichi? That's right. That was Shion, not Mion. So there shouldn't have been anything to worry about. I rushed back to my room, eating as I gave my thanks. It was so delicious that my stomach could cry.
シオン、いや、ミオン。俺が空腹で死にそうって言ってたのを聞いて、大急ぎで持ってきてくれたのか。
Shion. No, Mion. When she heard I was so hungry I could die, she brought this over to me. It was delicious to the last bite. By the way, nothing strange had been mixed in. I was a bit embarrassed at myself for being so skeptical. Is this the end of the current chapter? New tips unlocked. Tips acquired. It was delicious. Well, son of a bitch! I thought the remaining part of the chapter would go on for much longer than this. Looks like I betted wrong. Oh well. Nothing to do but just look at the tip and continue onward. So, it was delicious.
Oi, Mion.
Hey, Mion. Here.
何よ、ケイちゃん。
What is it, Kei-chan? I thrust a bento box she'd given me yesterday at her face.
昨日差し入れてもらった弁当箱だよ。ごちそうさま。
I had the food you gave me in it. Thanks.
うまかったぜ。
It was great.
あ、
Mion's face quickly flushed bright red. Hey now, you were the one pretending to be Shion when you gave it to me. You're gonna give it away if you get all worked like that when you're being Mion. At this rate, she might trip and fall right into her own grave, so I decided to help her out.
あのな、俺、昨日腹を空かせてたのさ。
Listen. No, Keiichi, you listen. This lovely lady here is not the same lovely lady that gave you a meal yesterday. I was pretty hungry yesterday.
シオンがわざわざ家まで来て、弁当を差し入れてくれたんだよ。
Out of the blue, Shion came all the way to my house and gave me some food in a bento box.
で、これはその弁当箱。
This is that box.
ちゃんと洗ってあるからな。
Make sure you wash it out.
そうなんだ。シオンは気が利くね。
Right. Shion's really considerate, huh? That was so transparent. Was Mion always this terrible at lying? Were you always this terrible at telling what? Yeah, you're just terrible at comprehension in general, it seems, when it comes to anything revolving around Mion and Shion. Her expression was different than usual, but it looked strangely cute.
で、どうだった？
So, what did you think?
ミオンに瓜二つなやつだと思うぞ。だって双子なんだろ？
You two are like peas in a pod. You're twins, right?
似てて当然だよ。
Obviously you look the same.
じゃなくて、
not that. Mion looked kind of bewildered, like she was waiting for a specific answer. When she said impression, maybe she didn't mean Shion, but the bento?
ああ、もちろん。うまかったぜ。
Oh, of course. It was delicious.
本当に
Really?
俺は食い物の感想には嘘はつかないぞ。俺がうまかったって言ったら、誰が食ったってうまい。
I never lie about liking food. If I say something's good, then it's objectively good.
万人におすすめできる評価だと思っていいぞ。
You can feel free to give my recommendations to every single person you meet.
シオンに、実に美味しかったって伝えておいてくれ。
Tell Shion it was seriously great, alright?
シオンにね、
Okay. Tell Shion, right?
伝えておくよ。
I will.
きっと喜ぶと思うよ。
I think she'll be happy. We're going along with Shion having given it to me, not Mion, aren't we? Yet her laugh. It came from deep down, and it sounded really happy. I guess she really can laugh nicely enough that just looking at her makes me feel better too. A sarcastic remark made its way onto my tongue, but I swallowed it back. As Mion went to put the bento box in her bag, she noticed a clattering noise.
ケイちゃん、なんか入ってるよ。あれ？
Kei-chan, there's something inside. Huh? Wow. What? What's in there? She opened it? The thing inside was a little embarrassing, so I wish she hadn't opened it here. Panicking, I hit it with my hands.
な、これはだな。うちのお袋がお礼に入れとけって言ったんだ。
Well, my mother told me to put them in as thanks.
別に俺のセンスじゃないんだからな。
I didn't come up with it or anything.
誤解すんなよ。
Don't get the wrong idea.
綺麗。飴だ。
So pretty. Candy. There was a handful of candies, neatly wrapped in paper, inside the sparkly clean bento box. When I was cleaning the box out yesterday in the sink, Mom came over and interrogated me, and I fessed up as to who had given me the food. Then she told me that something like this, some of this called for a display of gratitude. I didn't want to because it was embarrassing, so I argued that it wouldn't be like me to do that.
というわけなんだ。まあ、
Well, that's what happened. I mean, I was so embarrassed it felt like a fire might shoot out of my face. Mion laughing the whole thing off like she did would be fine. Usually it would be fine, but for some reason she was staring at the candy in the box with fascination.
ありがとう。
Thank you.
俺に言うな。入れたお袋に言ってくれ。
Don't thank me. Thank my mom. She put them in there.
それに、ミオンが俺を言う必要なんかないんだぞ。
Besides, you're not the one I need to be thanking, right, Mion?
それはシオンにあげるものなんだからな。
Those are for Shion, okay?
そうだよね。
Right. You're right. Okay.
シオンに伝えておくね。
I'll be sure to tell Shion.
きっとシオンも嬉しがると思うよ。
I just know she'll be happy. Mion, looking a little downtrodden, put the lid back on the box. Were you seriously hoping these were from Keiichi, Mion? Not gonna lie, that's actually kind of cute. Seems like I ended up saying something a little mean at the end.
今日はなんだかみーちゃん、ほんわかな感じだね。いいことでもあったのかな。
Mi-chan, you look sort of cozy today. Did something happen?
かな。
Did it?
風邪でもひいたんではありませんの？お顔が赤いのはきっと微熱のせいでしたよ。
Perhaps she caught a fever? The red in her face is probably due to the increased body temperature.
ってリカ、なんで私の頭を撫でますの？
Hey, Rika, why are you petting my head?
さとこもきっとそのうちお風邪をひけるようになりますですよ。
Satoko, I'm sure they'll be able to catch fevers soon enough. Why would you encourage her in this way? It's not like fevers are pleasant. Pet, pet. Interesting. So Mion was clearly hoping that the candies were for her, not Shion. This certainly casts the dynamic between Mion and Keiichi in a more interesting light, I'd say. Alright, let's continue. I might have explained this before, but phys ed at our school is really just an exercise in disorder. Yes, I remember. After some random warm-ups, the rest of the time is spent doing whatever. You're free to cause a ruckus or just fall asleep.
よくは知らないけど、教育委員会とかに教育指導要項とかあるだろ?
I'm not really sure, but doesn't the Board of Education have some sort of curriculum for this?
何歳ならこれくらいの運動能力はなければいけないみたいなさ。
Something like, when you're this old, you should have this amount of physical ability?
ケイイチさんが何を言ってるのか難しくてさっぱりですわよ。
I have no idea what you're saying, Keiichi-san. It's rather difficult to understand.
Well,
you see,
先生の授業の進め方のルールみたいなものなの。
it's something like a rule for teachers to follow during class.
都会の軟弱な連中にはそういうのは必要だろうけどさ。
Maybe you weakling city folk need something like that.
田舎育ちのうちらが身体能力で劣ると思う？
But do you really think us country-raised kids would lag behind in physical ability?
僕たちはケイイチが思ってるよりも運動神経はいいのです。
We're better athletes than you would think, Keiichi. Come to think of it, they might be right. If we all lined up for a race, there was a good chance I'd finish dead last if I didn't start off well. You need to get in better shape, boy. Let's just pray that when the brutal penalty game is at stake, the 100-meter dash isn't a club activity.
ではそういうことで、俺はテレビの見過ぎで実に素敵に眠い。
On that note, I watched too much television, so I'm fantastically tired. Not just plain tired, fantastically tired. Somebody get this poor sap a pillow.
睡眠時間の補給をさせてもらうぜ。
I'll be using this time to catch up on my sleep.
空腹絶頂の4次元目。
It's fourth period and I'm completely starved.
今寝ずにいつ寝るよ。
If I don't sleep now, when will I ever? As I began to sprawl out on top of a pipe, Neon grabbed me by the collar. A pipe? Really? Couldn't you just find a soft patch of grass somewhere? Or maybe a roof?
ち。まさかおとなしく眠らせてもらえると思ってる？
Do you really think I'd let you sleep in peace and quiet?
その顔で言われたら、おとなしく寝る方が勇気がいりそうだ。
With that look on your face, it'd require more courage to try and take a nap than not. Good grief. Which means, is it going to start again?
さて、
Now!
このまま井戸端会議でチャイムを待つなんて、熱き血潮のたぎった私たちには無理だよね。
Just killing time with idle chit-chat until the bell rings is impossible for us hot-blooded youth, isn't it?
部活タイム、行ってみよっか。
Shall we start club activity?
チェ、案の定来やがったな。
It's just as I thought. It's come to this.
今日のゲームは何だ?
What's today's game? Now that this is happening, taking a nap is impossible. Not just that. With this sleep-deprived head of mine, I'm as good as mincemeat. I have to get my brain into gear.
レナはそれより今日の罰ゲームは何かなの方が先だと思うな。
Rena thinks that we should decide what today's penalty game should be before we start.
レナはわかってるね。
Reina knows what's up.
今日もとびっきりのを用意してるよ。
I prepared something super special today. Will it involve the cat ears by chance? Or maybe a fire hose. She began to announce the cruel penalty game with a grand spinning flourish. But before she could do that...
ごめんなさいです。
I'm sorry.
僕はちょっとやりたいことがありますです。
I have something that I wanted to do. Oh? Of all people, it was Rika-chan announcing her non-participation. Even rare events do eventually occur. Losing her timing, Mion spun like a top as she tumbled to the ground.
あれれれれれれれれれ。
Ah?
何？どうしたの？
Huh? What's the matter?
今日は調子悪いの？
Are you not feeling well?
あ、そうか。
Oh, that's right.
みーちゃん、綿流しの練習だよ。
Mi-chan, she has to practice for the Watanagashi. That's coming up again, huh?
そうですわよ。
That's right.
今度の日曜日ですもの。
It's this Sunday.
リカは猛特訓中なのですわよ。
Rika is in the middle of super serious training right now.
最近は頑張りすぎて、お腕が痛いのです。
I've been working too hard lately, so my arms hurt. Poor Rika.
そっか。
I see.
じゃあ仕方ないな。
Well, there's nothing that can be done.
全員揃わないなら仕方ない。
There's no point in doing anything if we can't get everybody together.
今日は各人のんびりしようかね。
Okay, let's just take it easy. Well, you heard them, Keiichi. Better go crawl back to your pipe.
ごめんなさいなのです。
I'm very sorry,
でも、頑張りますですよ。
but I'll try my best.
頑張ってね。
Yeah, good luck.
レナたちも応援してるからね。
We'll be cheering you on. When Mion announced that today's club activity was cancelled, Rika-chan and Satoko headed off behind the school building. Only I was left alone, completely clueless as to what everybody was talking about.
一体何なんだ？
What was that about?
リカちゃんは何か大会前とかで特訓をしてるのか？
Is Rika-chan training for a competition or something?
リカちゃんは綿流しの巫女さんだから、奉納の演舞をすることになっててね。
Rika-chan is a shrine maiden for the Watanagashi, so she has to perform a ritual dance.
その練習なの。
It's practice for that. Why don't you explain things in order? First of all, what is this Watanagashi? I see we got some silent dialogue again. Next, what do you mean by shrine maiden? Last, what do you mean by ritual dance?
あれ？
Huh?
ケイちゃん家には回覧板とか言ってない？
Huh? Didn't you get the notice at your house, Kei-chan?
書いてなかった？
Wasn't it written there?
今度の日曜に綿流しのお祭りがあるって。
The Watanagashi festival is this Sunday. Huh? Come to think of it, I have a feeling Mom did say something about it during the dinner the other day. The Watanagashi is a festival that happens at the shrine on a Sunday every June. It's very lively. I see. The Watanagashi sounds like a pretty strange name for it. It's something like... Is it something like the Lantern Festival, where they have a memorial for the dead by flowing things down the river?
お、さすがはケイちゃん。察しがいいね。
Oh, I figured you might guess right, Kei-chan.
綿流しはね、名前の通り綿を流すんだよ。
The Watanagashi, or Cotton Drift, festival is, as the name implies, where we set cotton adrift down the river. The cotton you see is from futons or jackets, so it'd be something like a futon memorial?
祭壇にもお布団を積み上げているし。
They also pile futons up on the altar. I've heard people leaving offerings of things like needles or kitchen knives to their ancestors or casualties of war. But an offering of futons is a first for me. What's the history behind that? Mion tilted her head pensively.
言われなんてほど難しいのはないと思うな。
I don't think there's a complicated backstory to it.
この辺って冬の寒さはかなり厳しいからね。布団とか斑点とかの防寒具を特に大切にしたからじゃないかな。
The winters around here are pretty harsh, so things like warm futons and coats to ward off the cold are fairly important, I guess.
ああ、なるほどな。
I see.
つまり、冬の間お世話になった布団に感謝しようってわけだ。
In other words, it's something like giving thanks to the futons that took care of you during the winter then.
で、巫女さんが供養をして、最後に川に流すわけか。
Then the shrine maiden holds a memorial service for them and set them adrift.
それが綿流しってわけだろ。
That's what the Watanagashi is? Neon and Rina indicated that I had the correct answer with a round of applause.
でねでね。
And you see,
その供養をする巫女さんの役がリカちゃんなの。
and that shrine maiden performing the memorial is Rika-chan.
へえ。
Oh,
リカちゃんが巫女なんだ。
so Rika-chan is a shrine maiden. Okay, so everything that we know about the Watanagashi so far sounds to be the same from Chapter 1. From its purpose to, well, what Rika is going to be doing during it. But I do wonder, though, how are things going to differ during and after the festival?
言われてみればリカちゃんってどことなく神秘的な雰囲気あるよな。
Now that you mention it, Rika-chan does have a mystical air about her.
だよね、だよね。
Right? Right!
リカちゃんの巫女さん姿ってね。はう
Rika-chan in a shrine maiden outfit. How?
かわいいんだよ。
I'll never not feel awkward saying how. So cute! It certainly does seem like it would suit her. Yeah, it might be cute.
ようやく話が見えてきたぞ。
I miss Colonel Sanders. I finally get what you're saying.
リカちゃんの言う特訓ってのは、この巫女さん役の練習なわけだな。
Rika-chan's training is for her performance as a shrine maiden, then.
そういうこと。
That would be it.
巫女さんが布団をお祓いする一連のセレモニーを奉納演舞って呼ぶんだけどね。
The shrine maiden has to purify a number of futons as part of the ceremony.
それの練習なんだよ。
It's practice for that.
結構大変なんだな、これが。
It's a lot of hard work.
巫女さんはね、祭事用の大きなクワを持って演舞をするんだけど、それがね、リカちゃんにはすっごく重いらしいの。
The shrine maiden has to carry a large ceremonial hoe as part of the rite. And it's really heavy for Rika-chan.
リカちゃんってちっちゃいもんな。
Well, Rika-chan is pretty small.
その重いクワってどのくらい重いんだ？
Exactly how heavy is that hoe?
かなり重いらしいよ。
It's pretty heavy.
リカちゃんは餅つき用のキネで練習してるくらいだから。
Enough that Rika-chan has been practicing with a mochi mallet. Wait a minute. That's way too heavy! Forget about Rika-chan, that'd be rough even for me! She's a pint-sized powerhouse, huh?
祭事用の神聖なクワだからね。
It's a sacred ceremonial hoe.
間違って落としちゃったら大変らしいし。
If she dropped it by accident, it'd be big trouble.
まあ、年に一度のお勤めだからね。
Well, it's a once-a-year kind of deal.
私たちは陰ながら応援するしかないね。
All you can do is cheer from the sidelines.
大丈夫。
It'll be okay.
去年もちゃんとやり遂げたんだから。
She pulled it off last year.
そっか。
Really?
じゃあさ、せめて応援してやろうぜ。
Then the least I can do is cheer her on.
それくらいならいいだろう。
Even something like that little will help, right? I was rather curious about exactly how she practiced. Neon laughed as she shook her head.
ほっといてあげなよ。
Leave her alone.
ケイちゃんが来たら、リカちゃんは可愛くなっちゃうから、特訓ができなくなるよ。
If you go, Rika-chan will get all cute and won't be able to practice. I can't see Reina objecting to that, though. I didn't quite understand what Neon was saying.
リカちゃんはね、努力とかそういうのを人に見せるのが好きじゃないの。
You see, Rika-chan doesn't like showing people how hard she works.
Ne.
Okay?
そっとしておいてあげて。
So just leave her be. Even you are respecting her boundaries, despite her possibly getting cute when they're being violated during stuff like this. Must be quite serious indeed. Even the always cool and aloof Rika-chan has times when she sweats while giving it her all. Because she was always so well put together, she didn't want people to see an ungainly side of her. It's not like I couldn't understand that feeling.
俺にできるのは成功を祈ることだけってことか。
All I can do is pray for her success, huh?
頑張れ
Do your best!
フルでリカ
Rika Farood!
応援してるから
I'm cheering for you! Well then. I climbed onto the pipe and plopped down on my side.
フレリカちゃん
Hooray! Hooray! Rika-chan!
さらに応援の念波を高めるため、これより瞑想状態に入る。
In order to transmit more of my psychic waves of encouragement, I'll be entering a meditative state now. Which will last for all about 20 seconds and then you'll promptly fall asleep. Sorry, 2 seconds.
結局寝るわけか。
So you're just going to sleep after all? Like, come on, Keiichi. You already make me lower my expectations for you quite a lot. Don't make me lower them even more. The lackadaisical noontime ended up giving way to 9 mind-numbing afternoon classes. Rebounding from yesterday's hunger, I ate too much for lunch today, leaving me in a horrible condition.
さすがに食いすぎた。
I've gorged myself a bit too much.
午後の授業は答える。
I'll have to endure afternoon classes.
ケイチくん、今日はなんだかすごい食欲だったもんね。
Keiichi-kun, you had an amazing appetite today.
基本的にいつも大食いだけどさ。
Basically, you always eat like a pig.
今日はなんか格別だったね。
But today was on a whole different level. So he ate like a boar then?
昨日は俺昼飯抜きだったろ。
Yesterday I skimped lunch, right?
そのひもじさが染みついちゃってさ。
That hunger just soaked right in.
今度は逆にいくら食っても食欲が底なしっていうか。
This time, no matter how much I ate, my hunger knew no bounds. This is why you gotta exercise self-control! That's how you diet, man!
わかるよわかるよ。
I get you. I get you.
しかしケイちゃんってさ、いつもお弁当きれいに食べるよね。
But really, Kei-chan, you always finish your lunch down to the last bite.
ご飯一粒も残さないっていうか。
Heck, even down to the last grain of rice. Well, you wouldn't let food go to waste all willy-nilly, would you?
食べ物ってのは作ってくれた人に感謝して食べるもんだぜ。
With food, you show your appreciation for the person who made by eating it, you know. Exactly.
残したら苦労して作ってくれた人に失礼だろ。
If you leave any behind, it's rude to the person who put in all that effort. Hearing that, Mion's eyes momentarily widened in surprise, followed by a cool laugh.
ケイちゃんってさ、
Kei-chan, really?
ぱっと見ワイルドでいい加減そうなんだけど、結構律儀だよね。
At first glance, you seem unruly and irresponsible, but you're actually pretty conscientious.
しつけがいいというか。
Well disciplined, or something like that. He's more like a mixed bag.
あ、うん。それはレナも思うな。
Ah, yeah. Reina thinks so too. Thinks so too.
ケイチくんって見かけよりずっと優しい人だよ。
Keiichi-kun is a lot kinder than he looks. Both of them are probably trying to compliment me, but I had a strange feeling I wasn't being complimented at all.
そんなことないって。
It's not true.
見かけと中身は大違いってそう言いたいんだよ。
I just wanted to say that there is a big gap between your appearance and your personality. Stop reading his facial muscles. That's rude.
それが褒めてねって言ってんだよ
And I'm saying that's not a compliment.
こら
Hey, Teach. Hey.
園崎さん、前原くん、授業中ですよ。
Sonozaki-san. Meibara-kun. We're in the middle of class.
園崎さんはどこまで進みましたか？
How far did
ノ
you
ートを
get?
持ってきてください。
How far did you get, Sonozaki-san? Bring your notes up here. Startled, Mion vocalized a rather easy to understand utterance. She was so enthralled in the conversation, she had stopped working completely.
まあ、そこそこに。
Doing all right.
さっきから全然進んでないじゃないですか。
You haven't progressed at all.
最上級生なんだから、もっとしっかりしないといけませんよ。
You're in the highest grade, so you have to shape up. That Mion looks like she's getting lectured. Poor bastard.
人は見かけによらないっていうことだね。
Appearances can be deceiving, in other words.
むしろ見かけとは逆が誠かもしれないよ。
Actually, appearance might be the opposite of reality. I know, you've very recently reminded me of that fact pretty damn hard, I gotta say.
面白いこと言うじゃねえか。
You say some interesting things. Responding to Reina's seemingly profound statement, I turned my gaze to where Satoko was happily studying together with Rika-chan.
あの生意気盛りの里子も、実は見かけとは逆に、すげえ塩らしいってのかよ。
Are you saying that brat Satoko is actually really meek? If I went by what Reina literally said, then that would be the case. I could hardly imagine Satoko being meek and gentle, like a girl in some fairy tale.
最近はあんな感じだけど、ちょっと前までは違ったんだよ。
Satoko-chan's been rude lately, but just a while ago she was pretty different. Really? She seems to be the same to me as she's always been from chapter 1.
すごい甘えん坊で、いつも。
She acted really spoiled and always... Yup. Why'd you cut yourself off?
さとこちゃんには内緒ね。
Keep this a secret from Satoko-chan, okay? Okay, so there was a time that she acted spoiled and always something, and then all of a sudden, not too terribly long ago, her personality changed. Could you, give me a time frame for when this change occurred? Because depending on when it happened, I might be able to guess what at least one of the reasons for this change might be.
あの里子が甘えん坊?
That's Satoko. Acting so cute? For Satoko to play coy, I think that would have some part of some calculated plot. Even if she was to hide behind someone, I wouldn't think it was because she was attached to them. But since it came up, I tried to imagine a gentle and coquettish Satoko. I'm finding all kinds of words I never heard of before in this game.
Oi, Satoko.
What was up with that noise in the background just a second ago? Should I be concerned? Hey, Satoko.
何ですの、お兄様?
No, we're just going into the dark recesses as your head, huh? Yeah, that would definitely explain it. Your mind can honestly be a really scary place. Especially when it goes past the PG-13 rating, shall we say. What is it, Oni-sama? Satoko smiled cutely and walked towards me. By the way, for every 3 steps forward Satoko took, for some reason I took 3 steps away.
お兄様、なんで逃げますの?
Oni-sama, why are you running away?
すまん、里子。
Sorry, Satoko.
お前が愛想笑いして近づいてくると、 何かの罠のような気がするんだよ。
For you to approach me with an affectionate smile on your face, I just had to think it's some sort of trap.
ひどいですわ。
That's so mean.
お兄様の意地悪。
Oni-sama, you meanie. Please stop calling him Uni-sama, it's weird.
ごめん。別に悪気があったわけじゃないんだ。
Ha! Sorry! I didn't mean to be so mean. The weeping Satoko came closer to me. I'm a sucker for tears. Click. Well, it can't be a gun, because this is Japan, and getting your hands on a firearm is not by no means easy. Clank. Huh? A bear trap? My leg was being clamped down on by jagged metal teeth. Ouch!
かかりましたわね。
You fell for it!
続けていきますわよ。
Now for the next part. Satoko raised her right arm triumphantly, and traps began to trigger one after another. Suddenly the wall sprang forward, throwing me 3 blocks away. And there I saw a giant metal ball covered in spikes, hurtling towards me. On top of that, in the direction the ball would knock me was a giant guillotine.
よくわかんないけど、ケイチくん、今すっごく突拍子もない想像してなかった？
I'm not really sure, but Keiichi-kun, you're not thinking of anything completely ludicrous right now, are you?
いや、別に。
Not really. You liar.
全然してないぞ。
Not at all. Well, I guess ludicrous for him. Well, ludicrous for him, I guess not. But ludicrous by the average human standards, definitely. That's a lie.
トゲ付き鉄球に潰されるって顔してたよ。
You've got the kind of look on your face that says, I'm gonna be crushed by a giant spiked metal ball. There's a facial expression for that? How could my expression convey what I was thinking like that? Well, I'm pretty sure your face can actually form, well, letters, numbers, and other stuff here to formulate sentences. That's the only way that your face could convey your exact thoughts like that so accurately, is because you're basically not a walking dictionary, but you know what I mean. Sorry.
塩らしいサトコの想像ってのはかなり無理がある。
Imagining a meek and gentle Satoko is impossible right now.
今度体調がいい時に再トライしてみるよ。
I'll try again when I'm in better shape. Next, I looked over at Rika-chan, who was working diligently on some kanji drills. In contrast to Satoko, her default state was meek and gentle. If Rika-chan came to me saying, "Oni-sama," I'd hug her tightly. I could get used to that.
ケイチくんよだれ。
Keiichi-kun, you're drooling.
ごめん。
Sorry.
じゃあリカちゃんはどうだよ。
Then, how about Rika-chan?
あれも見かけによらないってのかよ。
Are you saying that her appearance is deceiving as well? Saying that out loud, I felt a tinge of doubt. Was Rika-chan really all sweet? Despite her appearance, she was really quite sly. Sweetly. How do you put it? Evading things deftly?
確かにリカちゃんはただ可愛いだけじゃない気がするな。
I get the feeling that Rika-chan isn't only just sweet.
確かに見かけによらないぞ。
Her appearance is definitely deceiving. I couldn't put exactly what I was imagining into words, but Reina managed to say what I wanted to. She turned to me with an impish look in her eyes, like she was saying, you shouldn't say something like that.
リカちゃんはきっと大きくなったらね、すっごい美人になって男の人を振り回す小悪魔のような女性になるんじゃないかなって思うんだ。
When Rika-chan grows up, I'm sure she'll become an incredibly devilish beauty, with men wrapped all around her little finger.
そういうのかっこよくない？
Don't you think that'd be cool? That could be very terrifying, actually. Reina said that lightheartedly, but I, as a man, couldn't laugh at that. The scary part about that was that it felt like it could be true. Noticing my gaze, Rika-chan turned towards me and let loose with an angelic smile. Both Reina and I, feeling as if that was directed towards us personally, had our hearts skip a beat. So cute. So cute.
Reina, 鼻血。
Reina, your nose is bleeding. Appearances can be deceiving, huh? Well then, what about our dear leader, Mion? I stared at her as she tried to weasel her way out of her scolding by the teacher. By Reina's theory, that unrefined, calculating, conniving Mion also had a side of her that belied appearances.
じゃあなんだよ。あのミオンも見かけによらず、実はいいやつだって言いたいのかよ。
Then what you're saying is that Mion, despite her appearance, is actually a good person?
みーちゃんはいい人だよ。
Mii-chan is a good person.
あ、まあ、そりゃそうだけどさ。
I really want to believe that, but, well, we are only in Chapter 2 of this whole thing, and I still don't quite know what to make of Mion. You, Reina, well, at least I know for a fact that if Chapter 1's events can be taken into whatever's going to happen here in Chapter 2, and I'm sure that they might at least a little, you're not exactly stable. Oh, well, that is true.
そういう意味じゃなくて、
But what I'm trying to say is...
ケイチ君の言いたい意味、わかるよ。
Yup. I know what you're trying to say, Keiichi-kun. Catching on that I was struggling to express my feelings as words, Reina smiled even more brightly.
わかるって何がだよ。
You know what?
みーちゃんって不思議でしょ？
Mii-chan is mysterious, right?
女の子なんだけど、男の子みたいっていうか。
She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy. I know! You could say that she's like a tomboy. That's right. Mion was more than aware that she was a girl, but it was exactly as Reina said. When Mion livened up the mood, it wasn't as though she felt like a guy or a girl specifically, but a friend of the same gender.
あいつが男だったら、きっと意気投合するだろうな。
If she were a guy, we'd probably be like two peas in a pod.
そりゃ今と同じか。
Although that's the same way it is right now.
でもね。
But you see,
そんなみーちゃんも本当はすっごく女の子らしいんだよ。
even that Mii-chan is actually really feminine.
レナ、
Reina,
お前ミオンにいくらもらったんだよ。
how much did Mion pay you exactly?
違うの。
That's not true.
もうちゃんとした話をしてるんだよ。だよ。
Jeez, I'm trying to have a serious conversation, you know? You know? Reina began to pout. Now probably wasn't the right time to joke around.
みーちゃんは部活の部長さんだからみんなのリーダーとして頑張ってるけど。
Mii-chan is the club president, so she's trying hard to lead everybody.
本当はとっても可愛い女の子なんだよ。
But she's really a very cute girl.
それ特にケイチ君には忘れてほしくないな。
I really don't want you to forget that, Keiichi-kun. Reina's gaze focused off into the distance, beyond where Mion was. The Mion I had met at Angel Mort was unimaginably different compared to the Mion that I normally knew. Flustered and hesitant from the unfamiliar job, it was a far cry from the brash and confident Mion. You know, she had to hurry to work. She went through all the trouble to bring me food when I was on the brink of starvation. And she did so not as Mion, but a Shion. What exactly was Shion to Mion? They already told you, dumbass. What kind of person was Mion exactly?
多分、ケイチ君には想像つかないと思うな。
Keiichi-kun probably couldn't even begin to imagine. Begin to imagine! As if it to say it was our little secret, Reina held her finger up to her lips as she giggled. Mion, finally free from the teacher's preaching, returned to her seat, cradling her head to hide her embarrassment.
おじさんはね、人生に必要な勉強は小学校までで十分だと思ってんだよ。
This old man, you see, thinks that grade school is enough for everything you need to study for in life. Saying that, she plopped down into her seat violently. Mion was actually really feminine. Right. I wonder if I can meet Shion again. I want to talk to her again. The principal waved around the bell that served as the school chime. The teacher rushed back to the blackboard and began to list everybody's homework assignments. Wow.
今日は宿題が結構出そうだね。頑張らないと。
It looks like there's gonna be a lot of homework today. Gotta buckle down.
じゃあさ、
Well then,
レナもってことか？
that means even Reina.
何がかな？
Huh? What do you mean?
人は見かけによらないって話。
Appearances can be deceiving.
レナもってことになるのか？
Would that apply to you too?
え？
Huh?
ケイチ君にはレナのことどう見えるかな？
Keiichi-kun, how do you see me? How? How? Me personally? A very troubled individual. The Reina Ryugu that I knew sometimes took things too far, but was generally a kind and gentle, ideal girl.
本当に？
Really? Really?
だったら、
Then
嬉しいかな？
that makes me happy, I guess. If she was the opposite of what she seemed, that would make her...
逆なのだとしたら？
And if you were really the opposite... If you were the opposite, I hereby refer you to Chapter 1. Just try saying it. I won't be mad. That's why I felt she meant.
レナは
Reina is...
レナは？
Uh-huh. Reina is...
逆になってもレナだよ。だろ？
Even if you were the opposite, you'd still be Reina. Right? Duh. This question shouldn't have been so nerve-wracking to answer. Maybe it was because the person in question was staring at me, but... Even saying that took a strange amount of effort.
ずるいな、ケイチ君。
That's not fair, Keiichi-kun.
そんな言い方されちゃったら気になっちゃうよ。
It bothers me when you say it that way. Oh. Perhaps unable to endure my silence, Reina's face began to burn red with embarrassment. Reina! Kei-chan! Let's go home. Mion walked over and started getting ready to go home. Whenever school is over, she really does get noticeably more energetic. It was the same relaxing walk home as always. Digging around in my pocket on a whim, I noticed something that should have been there was missing. Which is...
どうしたのケイちゃん？
What's the matter, Kei-chan?
いつも持ってるはずのうちの鍵がないんだよ。
key to my house I always carry around is gone. Someone tells me I should be mildly concerned about this.
参ったな。どこにやっちゃったかな。
Call it a gut feeling. Man, where did I lose it?
親はいるから今日はいいけど、まずいよな。
It's fine today since my parents are home, but still, this is bad. Okay, retrace your steps a bit. When do you remember last having it?
それは困るね。
That sure is troublesome.
忘れてきたの？
Did you forget it somewhere?
それとも落としちゃったのかな？
Or did you drop it? Which one was it? Did I take it with me this morning in the first place? Huh? Huh?
ケイちゃん、その鍵の特徴は？
Kei-chan, did that key have anything that would make it stand out?
うん。キーホルダーがついてる。
Yeah, it's on a keychain.
昔、夏休みの宿題で作らされたやつで、青いオットセイなんだよ。
It was a blue fur seal, something I made for summer homework a long time ago.
あれ？目をつぶった感じでお昼寝してるみたいなやつ？
Huh? Does it have its eyes shut, like it's taking a nap?
お、なんで知ってるんだよ。
How did you know?
そうそう、それだよ。
Yeah, that's it. Mion looked away and began to whistle.
さ。
See?
おとといケイちゃん、エンジェルモートに食事に行ったでしょ。
You went for dinner at Angel Mort a couple days ago, right?
その晩さ、お店で鍵の落とし物があったんだよ。
That night, the staff found a key.
それにオットセイのキーホルダーがついてた。
And there was a fur seal keychain attached to it. As she said that, she suddenly grew flustered, and added that Shion had told her about it. Huh?
あの時に落としちゃったのか。
So, I dropped it then.
でも見つかってよかったね。
So, what? Does Shion or the restaurant have it then? Aren't you glad they found it?
お店がきっと預かってくれてるよ。
I'm sure they're looking after it for you.
そうだね。
That's right.
行ってみなよ。
Why don't you go?
シオンの顔、私と同じだからわかるでしょ。
Shion looks the same as me, so you'll know her by sight. This was a rather unexpected development. Once again, I had no choice but to go meet with Shion. But I also had to thank her for the bento from yesterday. Besides, taking some time and chatting with this other side of Mion might be interesting. Half jokingly, I began to think about things like this.
そうだな。
Right.
エンジェルモートだっけ？シオンの店に行って鍵を返してもらって。
Angel Mort, was it? I'll head over to Shion's restaurant and get my key back.
ついでにお茶でも飲んで優雅に過ごすってのも悪くないな。
While I'm at it, having a nice spot of tea might not be a bad idea.
なんだか英国紳士みたいだね。
You sound like an English gentleman.
ケイちゃんには似合わないかも。
That totally doesn't suit you, Kei-chan.
ひょっとしてそのお店かな？
Is this the restaurant?
みーちゃんの妹の働いてるお店は。
The one that Mi-chan's little sister is working at?
ああ、なんならレナも一緒に行くか。
Yeah. Why don't we go eat together, Reina?
ちょっと残念だけど、今日はお父さんと約束があるから。
Sorry to disappoint you. But I had plans for my father today.
またの機会にするね。
Some other time. Reina seemed pretty disappointed about having to miss such a great opportunity.
双子だそうだけど、そんなにそっくりなのかな？
You said they're twins, but did they really look that much alike? Put her hair up in a ponytail, she looked just like me on here.
間違えるくらい？
Enough to mistake which is which?
ああ、そっくりだ。
Yeah, they're totally the same.
外見だけはそっくりだ。
At least on the outside.
中身はミオンと違って、おしとやかで実に可愛らしいのにな。
Unlike Mion, she's well-mannered and really cute, though. In response to my teasing, Mion pouted and began to argue with me. I couldn't help but burst out laughing at Mion's little farce. After all, they weren't just identical, they were the same person. After going home, I changed my clothes and dug my bike out of the garage. Just thinking that I would be able to meet Shion again gave me a mysterious feeling. Shion, a name for a different kind of Mion. She was a mysterious and ridiculous person, believing she had fooled everyone like that. I noticed that I was pedaling along quite happily. Could it be that I was looking forward to meeting Shion? I felt a sense of giddy anticipation, like I was headed toward a new friend's house for the first time. What Reina said about Mion actually being really feminine sprang to mind once again. The guilt from spying on another side of Mion, the self-conscious from being the only one that knew about that side. These feelings mixed together. That was Shion for you. Mion's little twin sister. Until she felt like coming out and admitting she was Mion. It was fine just to call her Shion, right? Mion might be trying to have some fun by acting out a different persona. As I reached the top of the steep hill, the horizon expanded before me. I was almost at the station. The last time I wasn't embarrassed since I was here with Dad, but this time I was alone. I was strangely self-conscious about it. Meet Shion, get my key back. That was all this task was supposed to be. If I dawdled around like this, maybe Shion would find me before she headed in for work. Hey, what are you doing, Keiichi Maebara? You're just here to get your key back, you know? It's not like you're some love-struck schoolboy here to hand over a love letter. The thoughts inside my head were slowly turning into a jumbled mess. I came to the realization that I was downright giddy. That's why. For just a bit. Just a tiny bit. I got a little carried away and did something really stupid. I kicked over a parked motorcycle that was blocking the sidewalk. Rude. I was in the way, sure, but there was absolutely no need for me to kick it. I definitely think I got too carried away. Yeah, sounds like you did. As the three bikes toppled one after another like dominoes, the loud noise they caused snapped me back to my senses. Oh. Shit! The hell do you think you're doing? Oh boy, you pissed off the delinquents. The owners of those three bikes were right there. They looked exactly like what you'd call thugs up to no good. They lifted their heads up in an imposing manner, and yelled angrily in a way that I had never heard before. The three of them beelined towards me, the worn-down heels of their thin-soled shoes slapping noisily against the pavement. I could only stare listlessly, as if I were watching some far-off event that didn't concern me at all. By the time I realized it, I'd been grabbed by the collar and lifted onto my tiptoes. Don't be playing dumb! You knocked him over, didn't ya? The three thugs were completely ignoring the rules of grammar. But the way they spoke was enough to make me tremble. Just like that, my composure drained away. My legs buckled, my throat grew dry enough to crack. I'm sorry. I accidentally... Accident my ass! You kicked it, didn't you, dumbass? I was completely at fault, so there was nothing I could say in my defense. As a result, I was pulled even higher. The hell, man? The paint's all scuffed. You brat! Who put you up to this, eh? This is your goddamn fault! The three of them continued to yell at me. I had no idea what each of them were saying. Getting further enraged that I was only listening while dumbstruck, they grabbed an empty plastic crate from a nearby store and began to smash it repeatedly against a telephone pole. Cracks formed in the crate, plastic shards flying everywhere. They then slammed it full force into the shard storefront. Oh boy. The shard let out a frighteningly loud noise. Still not satisfied, they flipped over a case of empty cans, scattering its contents all over the place. Now look, I know you guys are pissed and all, but if you're gonna rough anything up here, why not just do it to the dumbass here that actually tipped your bikes over? This was not normal. It was something you saw often on television or in manga, but I never thought seeing it in person would be this terrifying. I became painfully aware that the safety of civilized society was only held up by such a frail concept as morals. My knees clattered together noisily. Stack began to pepper my vision. This is what you would call absolute terror. There was nothing I could do to stop this frightening spectacle of violence. I could only pray for help. The fear I felt was just too much. Would somebody help me? Help yourself. You got yourself into this mess. My gaze floundered about in the surrounding area. I was surrounded by these three hoodlums. No way there would be a passerby brave enough to intervene. Maybe this is what you call reaping what you sow. If I were a passerby, there would be no doubt that I'd ignore what was going on. Well, there you go, Keiichi. If you would ignore what was going on if the situation was reversed, then why should you expect anyone else to come help save your sorry ass? So this was somewhat of a cosmic retribution. Fucking say something! I'll fucking stab you! Angry yelling loud enough to rattle my eardrums spewed forth right in front of my face. My waning consciousness was forcibly dragged back to the storefront. The thug had cocked back his free hand and twisted his body, when suddenly a metallic taste filtered through the back of my throat. A chill ran down my spine like a jolt of electricity. Seeing what was going to happen next, I squeezed my thighs shut as tightly as possible and grit my teeth.
You're
making quite the racket, you stupid pieces of trash. How did I know it would be you that'd be coming here to my rescue?
Get
out of my sight. That voice was a short distance away. Still holding me by the collar, the three thugs spun around to look behind them. The fuck you say? Standing there was Shion. I mean Mion. She stood there, displaying an imposing stature I'd never seen before. She didn't have the same look on her face as she did when we were playing around during club. Those were the eyes that would instill fear in anyone who looked upon them. The eyes of a raptor. They were the epitome of terror. At the same time, they were the most reassuring things in the world. I'll only say this one more time.
ケイちゃん話してとっととうせな。
Let go of Kei-chan and get lost. Mion, without an ounce of fear, laid down her ultimatum. Of course, there was no way those three wouldn't go absolutely berserk. The situation instantly turned explosively dangerous. You fucking bitch! I'll fucking bash your head in! Stop it, Mion. These guys are like rabid dogs. No amount of bluffing will work.
Mion, 危ないから早く。
Mion, it's dangerous. So run. I knew what I was saying was pathetic. But I couldn't let Mion get involved in this. No matter how you looked at it, Mion was only bluffing. Is she, though? But did Mion even know the meaning of the word bluff? However, the reason behind everything soon became apparent. They were slowly increasing in number, little by little. Not good. At first, it was only businessmen on their way home stopping to take a look. Then, it was housewives in the middle of shopping taking a gander. Next, what seemed like the owner of some store showed up. And it was pretty clear he wasn't just looking. Around Mion, there was already about 7 people gathered. Okay, never mind, I thought it was the delinquents that's numbers were increasing. It felt different than people coming out to support a friend. If I had to say why, it was because the group that gathered was diverse in age and gender. The 3 thugs seemed to slowly realize that there was something strange about the situation. Who the hell are these guys? Behind them, at some point, 4 more people of different clothes and ages had gathered. A girl who looked to be in middle school, a man wearing a bakery apron, an old lady in a house cleaning smock. More and more. Various people of various ages. Clearly, we got a very tight-knit group of people living in this neighborhood. Their gazes, comparable to Mion's, were of hostility, of intimidation. Before I realized it, over 10 people had formed a ring around us. At that moment, 5 elementary schoolers ran in and joined the circle. Dang. There were some familiar faces. Some of our classmates. Then these people were residents of Hinamizawa? More and more people from Hinamizawa gathered around. In obvious contrast, the residents of Okinomiya were passing by as quickly as possible. The fuck are you guys? Get the fuck away! The group surrounding us had suddenly swelled around to 20 people. Yeah, guys, you're outnumbered. You should just get the hell out. Completely encircled, the faces of thugs began to show the first signs of panic. Nobody spoke a word, Mion included. That made everything completely unnatural, and depending on which side you were on, completely terrifying. Only the thugs' voices echoed out like they were screaming. Somebody took a step forward, closing the gap between them. As they did, everybody else took a step forward, shrinking the circle. The hoodlums went pale as they were pushed together, back to back, while still yelling angrily. They were trying to string together vulgarities, but for some reason it sounded like they were crying out for help.
はいはいはいはい。どうしたのかな？どうしたのかな?
Alright, alright, alright. What's going on here? What's going on? It was sudden. A solidly built officer cut his way through the crowd. At some points, 2 police cars had arrived. Some passerby had undoubtedly called for them. Several burly officers appeared from inside the second vehicle. Oh, officer, good timing. There you go. The extortionists, caught red-handed. Please arrest them. The fuck? This brat's the one that's wrong here! Mion, returning to her usual self, was nonchalantly pointing out the hoodlums to police. Of course the thugs were furious. But, now that it had come to this, there was nothing they could do. It was their loss. Okay, okay. Come over here for a sec. Come on already. The officers handcuffed the thugs and dragged them towards the patrol cars. The fuck? Let me go! Where are the victims? Where are the victims here? Are you listening, damn it? Well, you're not exactly innocent. You went around smashing a bunch of shit up here. No matter how much of a ruckus they caused, the officers paid no heed. In the blink of an eye, they were crammed inside the 2 vehicles. They could still be heard yelling while inside the police cars, but what they were saying was no longer intelligible. Hey, Ushi-san! How you doing, man? Are you alright? Are you injured? It was probably a detective. The man leading the police peered at my face. No. Not really. Well, that's a bit of a silver lining then. Well then, have a good year. The portly man, after taking a quick look around, addressed the crowd. Thank you, citizens, for your timely report. Thanks to your efforts, we were able to keep the peace today. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you for your hard work, Detective Ushi. As a citizen, I thank you for your daily efforts. It's an honor for a detective from the 1st Division to come out all this way. The way Shion talked didn't have a very pleasant tone. It was a coincidence. I happened to hear the call over the radio on my way back from the prefectural office. I just made a little detour. Please keep up the good work. I pray for success in your future endeavors. Oh, shucks. It's a good thing there were no injuries, though. Ushi-san! We're done here. Let's go. Well then, have a good year. I'm sorry, could you make way? The detective named Ushi, after jovially making pleasantries, lumbered over to the waiting police car. I quickly set off, disappearing down the city street. Wait, I think I read that wrong. Oh no, yeah, I read wrong. It quickly set off. It was over so quickly. So quickly, I was dumbstruck. I didn't even get to ask the officer what was going on. It was like they came here quickly to disperse the mob before any trouble could start. After making sure the police cars had left, Neon snapped her fingers sharply.
おっしゃ、一丁上がりだね。
Alright, that's a wrap.
おととい来やがれっての。
And don't come back. That was the signal. The tension melted away in an instant as everybody began smiling. A middle-aged man helped me up.
大丈夫かい？前原の坊や。
Are you okay, young Maebara?
今度からは喧嘩は相手を選んでやりな。
Next time, pick your fights a bit better.
別に喧嘩ってわけじゃ。
It's not like I wanted to fight.
怪我とかしてない？
Are you hurt anywhere?
頭とかぶつけてるならレントゲンを取っておいた方がいいわよ。
If you hit your head, it would be a good idea to get an X-ray taken. An older lady I didn't know the name of was concerned about my injury.
たまたま駅前で人通りの多い時間だったからこれだけ集まれたけど。
You were lucky this happened right in front of the station when it was busy. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to gather as many people.
次からは気をつけるんだよ。
Next time, be more careful.
最近の町もんは物騒なんだから。
City kids these days are pretty unruly.
まったく。
Honestly. I was even warned by the old lady in the smock. As Shion finished applauding the dispersing group through their efforts, she strode over to me. I thought she was Shion Keiichi. Why calling her Shion now?
いやいや、ケイちゃんもやるじゃない。
Well, well. You're pretty good, Kei-chan.
でも私も相手を選んだ方がいいと思いますけどね。
But I also think you should be more careful about who you pick a fight with.
サンキューな、ミオ。
Thanks, Mion.
助かったよ。
You saved my bacon there.
だから私、シオン。
Like I said, I'm Shion. She made a troubled expression as she turned her gaze downward, blushing in embarrassment.
お姉に聞いてますよ。
I heard from my sister.
オットセイの鍵。あれ、ケイちゃんのですって？
That first seal keychain was yours, Kei-chan?
あ、うん、そうだった。
Oh. Yeah, that's right.
これからお店に行こうとしてたんだった。
I was just heading to the restaurant.
それで浮かれてて、あんな変なのに絡まれちゃってたんですか？
And you ended up feeling so excited that you got mixed up in something weird. She sees right through you, man! Now it's my turn for my face to go red. I didn't want to admit that she was spot on.
まあ、ついてなかったよ。
Well, I was just unlucky.
でも、シオンのおかげで助かった。
But you really saved me, Shion.
お礼はいらないですよ。
You don't have to thank me.
だから、ケイちゃんも他の人がいじめられてるのを見つけたら、きっと助けてあげてください。
So if you see somebody else getting bullied, help them out, okay?
私たち、そういうのをとても大切にするから。
We value that kind of thing very highly here. I was well versed in that sense of camaraderie. But the way I was rescued just now, something seemed a little off about that. Yeah, it most certainly was a bit off. But I think we can worry about this later. While I was helped out, it was honestly to an almost disturbing degree.
お店来ますよね。
You're coming to the restaurant, right?
疲れちゃっただろうから一服しません？
You must be tired, so why don't you relax for a bit?
おごりますよ。
My treat. Seems that she caught a glimmer of the suspicion in my eyes. Without waiting for my answer, Shion began walking. I feel like testing my luck out again, and what I mean by that is I think I'm just gonna go ahead and end the episode here and see if what remains of this chapter will play out longer than how the rest of the last chapter played out when I first started today's episode. If it ends up being a situation again where it only takes me like about 20 minutes or so here to get through what's left of this chapter before I have to go through tips and all that stuff before starting the next chapter, I'll just see if I can try to finish all the way until I get to the next chapter. Unless it gets too unbearably long, in which case, well, history will repeat regardless. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 2. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I will see you all next time. Take care.